guys, welcome to Vlog Media Breeze tonight. I was not going to come on here for the next couple of weeks, but I decided to do so. So welcome again to Vlog Media Breeze. For those of you who are new here, please, if you would be so kind as to click the like, the subscribe, and the notification bell. Even though I've been told that a lot of people do not get their notifications, you can still click it. Also, as we go along, you can get down in the comments over here at the chat, and I will recognize your comments by putting them onto the screen so that you will also have a voice here. I realize a lot of other content providers are on tonight, and that's perfectly fine. A lot of very popular content providers are on tonight, and this is not a good time for me to be on air, but I wanted to go ahead and come on. I am also having some issues that I don't understand here. It's just really very odd. I'm gonna try. I don't know what to do, but anyway, maybe it will stop here shortly. Um, so I want to first of all share with you guys. This is Love and Marriage Huntsville. This is a review. Afterwards, I will go in and I will change my title to review because I know that oftentimes it hasn't been updated. I keep forgetting to put review or recap in there. I wanted to first of all start out by saying to you, you guys are familiar with the young lady that they call Coleslaw, right? Her name is Arionne. She's the concubine or the mistress or the hoe or the whatever you want to call her, the slut packer, chitlin girl, whatever you want to call her, because she has caused a lot of havoc in the lives of someone else. She went in, she broke up an entire marriage, and she is so irresponsible about it. She is very irresponsible about what she has done to the marriage of Melody Holt and Martel Holt. And so is Martel. Martel has been very irresponsible as well. Um, just from a woman perspective, the woman should always bow out when you learn that a man is married. I'm bringing her up because I was on Kempire earlier and I saw where Chitlins has been on the circuit talking about Marsau and Maurice. She's calling them out. She's saying that they are also in the same bracket as Martel when it comes to cheating. Now, we have all suspected Marceau all along, right? But we have not all suspected Maurice because Maurice is a newly married man, and we thought he had sown his wild oats. Well, let me tell you something about wild oats. If a man was sowing his wild oats before he got married, and then he married you and you thought he was done sowing his wild oats, he that's part of his character. He has now transitioned that character into your marriage, Kimmy. And it may be very well true that that's what he's doing. Maybe that's why he's trying to control you in the same way that Marcel is trying to control Tisha, because those Scott boys, I'm telling you, it looks like they've been around. I think probably every woman in Huntsville has had them, and they've had every woman. They are like the most wanted men in Huntsville. And it's a mess. This is a messy life, and it is especially messy for the times that we are living in. I feel so bad for Mel because I've often said over here on this channel that, you know, a woman doesn't leave her marriage just for cheating. A woman will leave her marriage because she has to, because of the cheating. I mean, she doesn't leave it because she stopped loving the man, basically, is what I'm saying. And I think that for those that she trusts who are around her, I think that Mel should galvanize a prayer circle for her and her children, for her strength, for the things that she would like for God to do in her life. Because, this is awful. And I don't know why Martel thinks he is winning. He's never going to win. Not with what you did to her heart, to the marriage, and he continued to disrespect her even on the second part of the reunion. So I'm going to get right into it. It opens up. Carlos says he asked uh, Martel if you would have met chitlins before Melody. Do you think you and this woman would be married? And that's how they ended last week. It takes him such a long time to answer that Marceau answers it for him. Marceau is the worst. The Scott brothers, I'm beginning to think, are just the worst, really. I mean, what woman would have them? Let them go ahead and do their little hoedowns and showdowns and don't marry them. They got married for a look. They got married. Marceau and Maurice, they got married because marriage makes you look like you are all put together. And it gives you a really great reputation in the community. It makes you look like you're not sloppy and that you are able to make rational decisions. And it really upholds your reputation. And that is why Marceau and Maurice got married. I really do not even believe that Maurice all the way is that into Kimmy. I believe that Kimmy is really into Maurice, but I don't believe he's all the way into Kimmy. And with Coleslaw or Chitlin Girl or Concubine or, Hood Rat, whatever you want to call her, slow child, because Arionne is slow. She is very slow. I believe when Martel said that she and Mel went to the same school, Alabama A&M, I believe that she probably did not complete her degree at Alabama A&M. Maybe she went there and she dropped out as a freshman or a sophomore. I have a hard time believing that that young woman graduated from college. I have a very hard time believing that she graduated from college. Listen to her phonetics when she speaks. They are as bad as at least with Tisha's phonetics, we know Tisha is educated. The way that she presents herself, the way that she communicates, even with her phonetics, there are just some things as she's, shared with us, I believe in the second season, that she had a speech impediment, and some of those things have lingered. But when she speaks, we know she is an educated woman. She just has she has those particular flaws, and they're more visible than the flaws of many of the rest of us because we all are flawed. But I'm going to tell you this about Coleslaw. Coleslaw is slow. She is very slow. Listen to her speak. Look at how she communicates and look at all the attention she is trying to rivet toward her end. She is always talking about Mel. I'm so glad that Mel never talks about her. I'm so glad that Mel never talks about her. She's not even as pretty as Melody. She's not well put together. She just ain't got it going on. But if that's what Martel wants, maybe he and this girl are both very so. As we can see, he cannot even pass the state broker's license or builder's license test. So perhaps he and her have this in common. They're both slow. They have to live off of other people. They have to rise up off of other people. I'm going in on this chick today because she has the audacity to come out and with her mouth try to ruin two other marriages, talking about Martel and Maurice cheat. Listen, whenever we're out here and we are providing content about Maurice and Martel cheating, or maybe not even Maurice, but Martel. I'm sorry, Marceau. All these M's, I'm telling you. Isn't there a company called 3M? If it's not, then Marceau, Maurice, and Martel need to call themselves 3M and start some kind of builders technology company or something like that, because I get them confused all of the time. At any rate, my point is she is trying to now ruin marriages of other people. This is what this chick does. She's doing it now through gossiping through social media. She has now come out and said that Marceau and Maurice are also cheating on their wives. Allegedly, I have to say allegedly, they are, right? But she said that over there on her channel. So it's not enough that she's messed up one marriage. She's going in for the kill. You know who else goes in for the kill like that, you guys? Can I please tell you? Satan. She is the prime example of the daughter of the devil. That's what they do. They are hoes, they're adulterers, and she keeps going in on Mel. I'm like, leave Mel alone. Mel is about her business, girl. She ain't thinking about you. Are you kidding me? The woman is selling albums. She's raising children. She's producing a show. She's creating products. God said go. She ain't got time for you. That's Mel's issue. Mel's issue is she really feels like, you guys, that she has um a woman of her phenomena and her stature should not be associated with chitlin girl. That's what's going on with Mel. She's going, are you kidding me? I am way bigger than this, and this man has brought this into my life. That's what she's feeling like. And I want to say to her, listen, don't even talk to Martel anymore. Don't film with him. Do not talk to him. If you go to meet somewhere where you have to bring the kids together, drop them off and keep it moving. Both of you love your children. So that's one thing. And keep it positive with the children, Mel. Keep it positive. Yeah, Deborah, that's what I'm talking about. She did spill the tea. And that's what I'm saying. So, what you guys are calling spill the tea, I'm saying she has not only ruined one marriage, now she's going in for two a different way. She is now trying to ruin the marriage of Marsau and Tisha, and also trying to ruin the marriage of Maurice and Kimmy. That's why I'm talking. That's why I'm talking about her. She is a whole hood rat. For real. So on the reunion show, he asked Martel if he had met the chitlin girl before Melody, would he have married her? And Marceau couldn't wait for Martel's answer because it was taking so long. So Marceau answered for him and said yes. And I just wanted to say, Marceau, will you shut up? I mean, really, shut up, because we've had enough of you. Well, not on the show. We want you on the show, but we've had enough of your antics on the show. Now you got to put your mouth in Martel's business. Shut up, Marceau. I wanted it to stay silent until Martel said something, you know? Um, Melody says that she believes that he couldn't leave either of them alone. And you know what, Melody? You're not the first woman to fall into that. And it's okay. You are a beautiful woman. You're Listen, you are very successful. You are at least in the top 10% of this nation who men want to be with, okay? You're not going to have a problem moving on. And I know that when you love someone, you've been in a relationship with them and you love the man, it is not easy to move to a different man because as women, we are really cut from a different cloth. We really are. It is not easy for us to move. That's why you hear women being celibate, or some of them just go buck wild and just get busted all the way down, thinking that that's going to heal them of the pain that the last man left for them. And it's not. It is not going to heal you. So don't do that. Go somewhere, close your legs, be celibate until you get married. I just want Melody to, and I'm going to tell you this, I don't believe Melody when she says that she had, some, what do you call it, mouth to piece to mouth with some other dude while she and Martel were thinking of separating. I do not believe Melody. I just don't believe it. I think she said that to Martel to get a reaction. I really do not believe it happened. That's why when he said that he had the tape, I wish she would have said to him, you know what, we'll go get the tape, bring it out. She didn't say that. But in this episode, she does say that she believed Martel could not leave either of them alone. It's always this way, right? It's always um what did Melody call it? The Hyundai and the something else. I can't think of it. I can't think of the other car. At any rate, it's always this way. The man always has one woman, like he'll have the main woman who is high value, high class, everything any man would ever want in a woman, which is male. And then he'll go out and get a trash bucket. He'll go out like a dog and start digging in the trash, pooping on himself and eating it. I mean, vomiting and eating it. He will go out and do that. Lo and behold, the next woman is never as much quality as the original woman. So when she says that she thinks he couldn't leave the two of them alone, it was really, that's what men do. They'll have a high class woman here in the home and go out and get a trash bucket. And the only thing they really care is their pleasure. The woman in the home is the one they want to be with, but the trash bucket gives them a different kind of um, intimacy, physical intimacy, if you will, because we can't say the other term here on YouTube. Let me check something here, see if it's done. Did it ever get done? Let's see. Okay, I think it did. I'm gonna see if it shows. Can you guys hear me when I'm talking? Can you still hear me? If you can hear me, get in the comments and tell me if you can hear me with this on the screen, because sometimes I will put a visual on the screen and people can't hear me. Okay, I see you over there. I see that you guys are here. Can someone at least get in the comments and tell me whether or not you can hear me when I put that on the screen? I'm going to put it on again. This lets me know that it's my enemies that are up here. They don't want to come on the screen. They don't want to get in the chat and let me know whether or not they can hear me. You know? At any rate, let me go ahead. I want to finish talking about this because we need to get out of here soon. Carlos tells Martel that he was in love with two women at the same time. So do you guys think that he was in love with two women at the same time? I mean, because if he was in love with what everyone else is calling coleslaw and I call chitlins, if he was in love with her, why has he not married her because he said he wants to be married again. Remember when they were in Vegas and they were all sitting around the table? He said he wants to be married again. So this is his opportunity because you know she would jump on it. She would jump right on it. Then the thing that really got to me about Carlos, I love Carlos. He let me first of all, let me give him, honey, let me give him 10 stars for this reunion. Andy Cohen, please take note. Carlos is doing it. But you know what? Carlos is a black male, right? So you know how we do as black people. We're not afraid to be eloquent and ask questions. We are not afraid of that. We are not a race who is a fearful. We're not a fearful race for, lack of a better way to describe us. It's very easy for us to speak the truth and ask questions that will reveal the truth. Carlos doing this reunion, to me, you guys, we're all giving him kudos for it, but it's really nothing to him. It's part of his culture. That's part of our culture. Really. It is. Um, because quite frankly, and there are differences in culture, and these are not racially motivated remarks at all. Um, I would say, except for the white people in New York, okay? Most white people are not very open about their feelings, and that's why you have all of this thing called therapy, which is nothing wrong with therapy, but that's why you have more of them who go that route than you do black people, because black people feel like they do express themselves, right? I do not like when black people express themselves through violence. I am not. I am completely pro Martin Luther King when it comes to violence. I am completely pro civil and peaceful. Okay. So I think ignorant people probably go that route, right? But I'm saying that to say that Carlos is very cultural and he is doing an excellent job. But really, I think that this is like, for him to do this is probably very easy. It's very easy. Remember last season, Egypt, she got up and she walked off the stage, and I thought, really, and I love Egypt. She's beautiful. I really like her, and she's very smart, and I love the way she hosts reunions. But when you get up and leave the stage, that's unprofessional, in my humble opinion, for that particular industry. I saw that as being very unprofessional. I did not like when she got up and left the stage. At the same time, I did not like the cast disrespected her either. I didn't like that. And that wasn't on Love and Marriage. That was another. Um, was it Love and Marriage? It was another reunion. Maybe it was Love and Marriage. So Melody, he tells Melody she was not enough. I did not agree with that when Carlos said that, and I thought he was. I know he was trying to elicit responses from them. And he got one from Melody because Melody disagreed, and I disagree as well. Melody is definitely enough. This is what's going on. And if you will, or if you have the time, go back and look at my previous videos just to see the consistency in what I'm about to say. It's not that Melody was not enough. It is that Martel is psycho, okay? Martel has an imbalance and he really needs to see a serious therapist. And I would say, even like Dr. Francis, alone, off air, meaning off television, where he can really get in there and talk to Dr. Francis, and Dr. Francis can get in his head and help him to see some things. Does anyone agree with me on that? Martel, so it's not that Melody was not enough. It is that Martel has some issues. He really has issues. Aside from the cheating issues, he has mental. I shouldn't say that, but he has some imbalances. So Melody disagreed, and Melody goes on to say that she caught Martel crawling up the steps to the bathroom to get another phone that he had, and she caught him on the phone with this chitlin girl. And this was all after he had been hurt, his back was out, and he had been in the hospital with his back issues, and she was there taking care of this man, you guys. I was listening to another channel. I think it was Miss Misha. Miss Misha said, "Oh no, it would have been another Diary of a Mad Black Woman up in there." It was either her or Jamie That's Me. One of them was saying that. And for me, I can't do Diary of a Mad Black Woman well, but I probably could if I was put in that situation. While he's crawling up the steps, I might pull him back down. While he's in there on the phone with the mistress, I might hit him over the head with a pot and pan or something. I don't know, because this dude is, I you know I am so, but you know what? They're not the only ones who's going through something like this, you guys. I have known marriages even back in the day, even marriages that we thought were good in our church, to go through some things. And this was when I was a little girl. So let's see what they're saying over here. Um, okay, if you come over here with this kind of stuff, this is what's going to happen to you. Okay, because I don't know where that's coming from. But Michelle, what are you saying yes to? You're saying what did I say, or what are you saying yes to? This is interesting, and I have to say this because no one ever gets over here in the chat with their face showing. And I will go on other channels and everyone has their face showing. So this lets me know that you're either my former employer, or you are Google, or you are one of those people who is coming over here to my site as a troll, and you are part of that team of avatar people who trolls the YouTube streets to do things to other people. I digress. So Melody catches him crawling up the steps. And you know what's really weird is, as Melody is not really weird, I shouldn't say weird, but the synonymous thing is that Marsau grins as Melody is telling about her catching Martel with another phone. Marsau actually sits there and he grins. What does that tell you about Marsau? And Melody goes on to say the reason she stayed, because Carlos asked her if she stayed to compete with the other girls. She said, no, I stayed because I knew he was a man of imperfections. And I had hoped, he kept telling me he was done with the cheating. And she was really hoping that he was done with the cheating. Carlos believes that Martel honestly tried to be done with the cheating, but was not completely honest with himself about his feelings for chitlins. And so Mel brings up a good point, because she says, well, if chitlins is the whole restaurant, why is Martel still cheating? Because you can go over to his Instagram, guys. If you go over to Martel's Instagram, he's still seeing other women. Martel is still seeing other women. There are content providers on YouTube who have photos of him with another woman in particular. I think her name is it Empress, or there are a few of them. So I agree with Mel. What is it? That he's not done with her. Martel said, and Martel answers that by saying that just because he is not with Mel does not indicate that he will be with another woman. Just because he's cheating on Mel doesn't mean he wants to marry the other woman. So he himself, in other words, says, hey, just because I cheated on you doesn't mean I want to be with her. I've heard other women say that, other single women say that about men. I have heard other single women who have, you know, men boyfriends who have cheated on them who say to them, "Listen, I don't want to be with her. I have no feelings with her. It's just, they're like, I could have, done that to a hole in the wall. She just got pregnant." Like, listen, you guys, you know what the real delusion is? Is that Chitlin girl actually thinks that she is chosen. She thinks that the reunion is all about her. And it's not. It's about Mel and Martel. And people who are married are watching the show because we want to know. Because really, you guys, most men think alike. You're talking to someone who's been married 35 years, so most men think they do think alike. Okay. So, and um, she thinks that the show is all about her. She doesn't get that most of us are watching it for, and maybe this is not the correct term, but I'm going to say it. We're watching it for psychological and emotional value. That's why we're watching it. We're watching the interaction and what has gone down in reality between Mel and Martel. Mel and Martel. That just has a ring to it, doesn't it? Even I don't want her to go back to him, but Mel and Martel. Okay, Martel and Mel. It just has a ring to it. Um, you guys, when you get down in the chats and you put information there, and I ask you a question, please come back and confirm the question for me so I will know, okay, the answer, because I asked a question a few moments ago and no one answered. So I digress. So, um, Carlos asked Kimmy and Maurice, of all people, what did they think about what was going on with Mel and Martel. And Kimmy says, listen, I believe he definitely has feelings for the girl, for her. Now, Kimmy and the other girl are not friends, but they do know each other. They worked together at the same medical facility. They worked together. Kimmy knows her. She knows Kimmy. They've had conversations. That is why in season 2, in one of the episodes, Martel even says that Kimmy and her work together. Martel even says that. And Kimmy, at one point, someone called the girl a side piece, and Kimmy negated that comment. She said, "No, I'm not going to call her a side piece." Well, Kimmy didn't want to call her a side piece because Kimmy was allegedly a side piece. So she could relate to the girl. Carlos asked Maurice if he has been around Martel and chitlins. He asked her that. And you guys, Maurice point blank said no. Am I okay? Am I losing my hearing here? Am I the only one who noticed that Maurice said no? But Marceau said yes. And Marceau said they met with her while they were on a guys trip one night. So Mel turned amid and she said, "Isn't that something to have your side piece out with all your guy friends?" I agree with you, Mel. That tells you something about his guy friends. Birds of a feather flock together. Even the Bible says bad company corrupts good morals. So they were all in each other's company. Martel interjects at some point and said, "Well, you know what? I mean, we all went out." And the reason I want to bring up that he said we all went out is, um, yeah, you're right, Shantae. They are all just alike. They're all just alike. You guys, if you are just now joining me, and it seems as though some of you are, I am talking about Love and Marriage Huntsville, um, the last reunion, which was this past Saturday night. It's reunion part 2, season 3. And So we're going over that, and I'm going to try to make it as quick as possible. Um, so I think that when Martel said, I mean, we all went out. I mean, I think that he was kind of subtly telling on the guys. And I believe that's why Chitlin went on live today to tell on Maurice and what's his name? Marceau. Um, because as a woman, I would not be out, I would not out my man's friends without him having a heads up that I was going to do that. I believe that Martel used her to out Marceau and Maurice, allegedly. That's what I believe. That's why she was on live today outing them. Because she knows that she's not going to lose anything doing that. She has nothing to lose. And do you think that she didn't tell Martel that she was going to do that? She absolutely did. Um, Carlos asked how long did Marceau know about Martel and Chitlin Girl? And Marceau said about a month. Marceau, you're lying. Kimmy interjected to inquire as to how much Marceau knew. She said, did he, how much did he know? And Martel had the audacity to tell Mel he wasn't going to have her disrespecting chitlins. Who's a full-blooded what? Yeah, well, if you heard me earlier, Shantae, you said Martel is just as petty like coleslaw. I think that Martel has some psychological issues. I really do. And I'm not a therapist. Let me go ahead and tell you guys, I'm not a therapist. I believe that he does have some issues, though, you know? So, um, Marceau, are you saying Marceau is so close to being exposed? Listen, I believe that because if you look at Marceau and how he's changed even with regards to the way he is now supporting Kimmy, I think that with these Scott brothers, it has to do with the way that they want to look to everyone. They want to put on a united front in public. It has nothing to do with their loyalty. They are married because marriage makes you look stable in the community. And that's real, you guys. Marriage makes you look stable in the community. Marriage and children and a home with wife and children makes you look like a man who is stable in the community. But it doesn't make you look like you're not cheating. So Carlos asked how long did Marcel know about it? Okay. So Kimmy interjects and she lets them know. She said, well, she wants to know how long they knew as well. Martel had the audacity to tell Mel he wasn't going to have her disrespecting chitlins because Mel compared herself. She said that chitlins was a Hyundai and she was a something else. I can't remember what it was, but it was a more exclusive car, which is a very true analogy. That was a very true analogy. Okay, Martel. And I don't know what you mean you're not going to have her disrespecting chitlins when you and chitlins both have disrespected her. So you know what? F you with that mess, Martel. F you. I don't curse on here, you guys. But F you, Martel. Let me say it. Tisha did not like that Marceau was out with Martel and the mistress. Okay, Tisha, as if you really have any control over Marceau. You can look at him, give him the bad eye all you want. We know you have no control over Marceau. Marceau is doing his thing out here in those streets. That's why he has to have a sports car. Kimmy asked why did they not just leave when they saw that Martel was with the mistress, knowing that he is married to Mel? I have the answer to that. And this is my commentary, you guys. So I often will comment. I'll say some things intermittently. They did not leave because they are scum buckets. They are just like him. It was exciting and fun for them to sit there and watch a married man, his mistress come in. Whenever that girl came in there, that little hoedown girl came into the club to meet Martel, they felt like they were the dead gone bomb. They felt like they were at a real party. Um, and Maurice, the little sneaky liar, we're learning a lot about Maurice, you guys. We are learning a lot about him. He says some of the dumbest things that sound smart, but they're not really smart, they're dumb. For example, he says, you actually have influence when you're there. So that's why he didn't leave, you guys. He actually has influence when he's there. I would love for Carlos to have asked Maurice, well, you say you actually have influence when you're there, Maurice. So tell me, how do you have influence if you stay? Give me that answer. How do you have influence? Tisha brings up that Marceau told her so Tisha spills all the beans. And a lot of people seem to forget the previous episodes or the previous seasons when Tisha brought up the fact when her and Mel were at the table trying to hash out their issues. Tisha is the one who brought up the fact that Martel and Chitlins have matching vehicles, matching BMWs. Remember, she brought that up? So now, on this reunion, part two, she is the one who brings up that Marceau told her that they were in Atlanta when the Chitlin girl showed up. Yeah, they were in Atlanta. So all the way in Atlanta, the girl drove. I mean, she got in her car and drove to Atlanta. I agree with what other people are saying. She didn't drive there by herself. Listen, if I'm going to meet you, I'm going to take a friend with me. And be like, come on, I want you to go over here with me. I'm going to take a friend with me. And she even says over on her live today or either it was yesterday, that when she was in Atlanta, once she got upstairs to the hotel with Martel, she asked him what Kimmy looked like because um, Maurice was with some other, butch looking girl. Maurice was with some other heavy duty girl, and she couldn't believe that Maurice was with that girl. So she wanted to know, well, what does Kimmy look like for him to be with her? I believe Tisha found out when her husband was coming home sharing the information with her. And I think he was sharing information with her to make Martel look bad so that Tisha wouldn't look at him. That's what I think. So listen, you guys, they all go to break, and Carlos is telling the ladies, listen, it was a tough segment. Tough segment. This is what we live for in reunions. I don't know why people don't know that. This is what the viewing audience wants to see in a reunion. So yes, it was a tough segment for them, but for us, it was given everything. It was everything, you guys. This reunion is the best reunion ever. It needs to go into every hall of fame that there is. Carlos King is the king of television as far as I'm concerned right now. He is the king of television. Okay? Um, After the break, um, well, no, I'm going to talk to you about what they said in their rooms because Mel, if you notice, if do you guys look at the visuals in the background and pay attention to what else is going on when you're watching television? Because Mel has a support system in her room. She has her mother there with her manager and two other people, and her stylist is there. So she has a whole support system in her room. And Martel goes to his room alone. Did you guys get that? He goes to his his room alone. He doesn't have a team in there. Had you stayed with Mel, you would have had a team, homeboy, with them tight clothes. I love your suit though. You are bringing it this reunion. You are best dressed male at the reunion. But I'm gonna pick on you a little bit because I don't like the way you're doing my girl. I don't like it. I don't like it. Okay, I do not like it. So Dan, who is Mel's mother, and Van is so gorgeous. You know what? Back in the day, Van was the one. Van was Huntsville's best. Okay, Van is she's a very good looking woman, you guys. Um, the real shocker, she tells Mel she wants her to have what sounds like full custody of the children. But Mel doesn't believe she's going to be able to do that because the system makes women have to stay in environments, in very bad environments, just to get along with the man that they're divorcing. And she starts crying. You guys, I couldn't take it. Because I'm in my 50s, so I have children in their 30s, right? So Mel is like a little baby to me. Mel's like a baby girl. And so when she was crying as a mom of people in their 30s, I'm sitting there going, oh my God, I just wanted to hug her. I could not take it, you guys. I couldn't take it. I literally could not take that Mel was crying. It just tore me to pieces. It tore me to pieces. Gosh, yo. Martel's a biatch. I can't take him. I don't like him. I can't stand him. I really can't. I want him. Listen, I want him to stay on the show. Although I wouldn't be too mad if they made him take off next season so he can go get his builder's license with his dumb butt. Can't pass a builder's license class, which means he can't put two and two together. I passed the real estate exam here in North Carolina, so he can't pass a builder's class. Let me tell you, that wasn't the easiest exam to pass either. So I don't know what I'm boasting about. I didn't even know. When I saw my grade, I was like, ah! Listen, I literally got up and I was not sure, really. So I have to empathize with him, but really, if he wanted his builder's license, he could pass that test. And I would like for them to just like give him a season off so he can do that. But they're not going to be able to do that because Mel is there. She's with the kids. They would have to show her dropping the kids off, him picking the kids up. They would have to show that whole interaction. So while they are having a season break, I hope he's studying. I know in college, the professors used to tell us that it takes 2 hours per class every day to study in order for you to get an A. 2 hours to study time per day, every day, in all the classes that you have in order for you to get an A. Okay? So Shantae, you felt for Mel too. I tell you, I can't take you said so Martel played the recording on his IG and it's her voice, but it sounds like she was trying to get a reaction from. That's what I said. Aliek. I said she was trying to get a reaction from him. I don't believe that she did anything with that dude. You know why I don't? Because Mel is such a high value woman. She really is. And she's grossed out by stuff like, the oral intimacy. She's grossed out by it. That's why she doesn't do it. And that's why I believe her that's why I don't believe her that she did that with another guy. As much as she loves Martel, I don't believe that she did that with that guy. I just can't believe it. So we have next. So in Kimmy's room, you guys, remember before the break, Maurice told us that he did not know he had not been around Martel and chitlins. And you guys, if you wonder who chitlins are, it's Arionne. Everyone else calls her coleslaw, but I love coleslaw. I really do. I'm a Southern girl. I put coleslaw on my hot dogs and on my hamburgers. I have it with the barbecue that we have here in North Carolina. So I cannot see calling her coleslaw. I like coleslaw. I don't like chitlins. So for me, she's chitlins. Okay, she's stinking chitlins. Little concubine. Um, in Kimmy's room, Maurice says, in Kimmy's room, she says, "I felt sorry for Mel. You know, we listen. It's not easy to watch. It's not, and especially since we know it's real. It's not easy. It's not easy. If you have a heart, it's not easy to watch." She felt sorry for Mel because it took Martel so long to answer that question. He did that mess intentionally. He knows television. He knows he sat there and took a long time because that's the note that he wanted to end on. We know you wouldn't marry chitlins. If you were gonna marry chitlins, you'd be married to her now. You don't want them stinking things on your stove every day. Um, So Kimmy tells Maurice that she did not like that him and Marceau chose to stay instead of leaving. So here comes Maurice with one of his BS answers. He says he never saw their interactions. You just said that you were there with them. You told us while you were in the room with Kimmy that you seen them together, but you didn't see their interactions. Anytime you see two people, Maurice, you're seeing their interactions. Whether it's nonverbal or verbal, you're seeing their interactions. Maurice is such a BSer. I can't. I really can't with him. Okay. Um, Kimmy gives in too quickly to Maurice because as he starts to give his excuses, she really lets us know who has the upper control in that marriage. But you guys, I'm going to tell you, I liked Maurice and I still like him, and I like all the couples on the show. So, regardless of what I say here, I want all of the couples on the show except Tiffany and Lewis. They can bounce. Um, Maurice is the biggest snake at this point. At this point, to me, he is not any better than Martel. What do you mean? He told her staying, he felt like, I feel like staying, I have more influence. You see how he's always trying to sound intelligent, saying something stupid? I mean, something stupid. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm having a glass of wine. I'm going to blame my phonetics on the Kendall Jackson, okay? Um, but as I was telling you earlier, Kimmy also she knows chitlins because she and chitlins worked together. If you go back to um, season 2 and look through those episodes, Kimmy admits to working with chitlins. Let's see here. So you believe Kimmy is playing the role for now until she gets tired of Maurice? I don't, you guys. I think she's deeply in love with him. I don't think she's playing a role. I think that eventually she might get tired of him, but I don't think that she's intentionally playing a role, you know? Um, so the reunion reopens with Destiny. What did you guys think of Destiny's dress? What did you guys think of Destiny's dress? I mean, for this reunion show, I could see if it was a dress that you had for a different occasion because I have a dress that color that's velvet, kinda, and the sleeves ride the same way. But hers was sleeveless, I think. Her dress is all right. You know, I didn't like the top part of her dress because the front flaps of the top part kept getting in the way. Like when she would move, it would get in the way. So you're saying when Kimmy pauses, it seems awkward, Shantae? Um, you know what? She does pause. And she's probably thinking, because Kimmy's a thinker. So she's probably thinking a lot whenever she pauses, you know? Um, so Destiny is here. And Carlos offers her a prayer cloth. I haven't heard prayer cloth in years. I was like, no, he didn't do that. But Carlos was turned on by her, okay? Carlos was turned on by her. So she missed it for me this time, and she does have style. So you're saying, Shantae, that she does have style. I think she has style, definitely. I think she doesn't know when to bring it out is my point. Even at her own function, that outfit she had on at her function really is a club outfit. If you are a young woman and you're given an elegant function like that for the women of the community, that's not what you wear. It was a see-through, glittery white jumpsuit. And I loved it. It was a beautiful fashion, but she doesn't know where to put her fashions, I think. She came on the scene as an exciting newlywed and an opinionated friend. That's how Carlos described her. They start to show flashbacks with her and Mel in Destiny's kitchen having a talk. Then they show LeBaric, who was her husband, with Mel and Martel at dinner, and they're having a discussion about whether or not Destiny is going to take on his last name. Also, it shows Martel telling her at her shop that the reason she and Melody are getting a divorce is because they have too much mouth. Martel, shut up. Martel, STFU. Okay? Shut up. Are you kidding me? The reason you're divorced is because you are a philanderer. You're not divorced because of Mel's mouth. You're divorced because Mel's mouth divorced you. That's why you're divorced. Oh my gosh, I can't take him. And did you hear his mother in the episode before the finale rooting him on to continue cheating, saying, "Yeah, so what if you had a baby? Yeah, you had a baby. So what?" His mother, with all due respect, and because she's my age, I'm gonna go there with her. She may even be a little bit younger, but she has him, so she has to be at least in her 50s. So I'm going to go there as two women in their 50s. And I'm going to say, your mother's ignorant for saying that mess to you. What mother gives her son permission to cheat on his wife? That was an ignorant comment for her to make. You guys, am I talking too loud? Okay, because I'm like, okay, my house is echoing. Um, So after the flashbacks, Carlos says, can you tell us what happened? He asked Destiny. Destiny, are you kidding me? These are her excuses, you guys. She says, they were in the same state, they had a baby, and then COVID-19 hit. If you don't believe me, go back and look at the reunion. These were her excuses for getting a divorce. They were in the same state. Hello, you're married. You're supposed to be in the same state. We had a baby. Your couples have babies. Oh, and then, COVID-19 hit and, it was a wrap. You guys, anyone who believes that mumbo jumbo that Destiny put out, you're crazy. I'm going to tell you right here and now. I'm about to tell you what I believe happened. Does anyone care about what I think here? Okay. Listen, I didn't know they were together 5.5 years. She goes on to tell Carlos we were together 5.5 years, and then after having the baby, 3 weeks after giving birth to your son, he divorced you. 3 weeks. That's a serious ass divorce. That is we don't want you back next season, Destiny. I don't. I know Carlos does, and you're probably going to come back. He is the producer of the show and everything, the director and everything. So if he brings you back, okay. But Carlos, we need to tell you, you have got to bring it out of Destiny, or stop bringing her on the show, because ain't nobody showing up at her show. At her store except Martel. I never see any customers in her store, so she ain't got nothing. So you can force this message out of her because she's clearly not making any money at her store. Ain't nobody in there. Um, Listen, this is crazy. This is her reason. Same state, had a baby, COVID-19. That's why she got divorced. Ain't nobody getting divorced for that after 5.5 years. You guys, I don't want to say this, but I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you this. Listen to this, okay? I don't want to say this because I love LeBaric. I would love to see LeBaric on the show. In fact, my girlfriend's here in Charlotte. We're planning a trip to Huntsville because we want to go to Black, and we also want to eat at LeBaric's. I don't know if he has a truck on his IG. It looks like it's a truck, but I think he also has a restaurant. But let me tell you, he's taking pictures with a lot of stars on his Instagram. So a lot of people who go to Huntsville probably eat there. Huntsville is like the jewel of um, Alabama. It really is. It is the jewel of the jewel, Jewel, in case you can't get my phonetics from my alcohol. Um, it's the jewel of Alabama. And I have known that since I lived in Atlanta, and I left Atlanta in 2008. So um, even the people that I know who are in Atlanta from Huntsville, they are some of the best people. I love them. I love my Alabama peeps. I really do. Um, but Huntsville is a big deal, and it has really pretty people. Huntsville has some pretty people because my friends in Atlanta are gorgeous. Um, this is what I think happened, you guys. I don't want to say it, but I'm going to say it. I'm going to tell you allegedly what happened with Destiny and LeBaric. I'm going to say it and then I'm going to move on. I'm going to say it one time and then I'm going to move on. I believe there was a paternity issue because Destiny cheated. Okay, next. When Carlos King is asking Martel about his comment, um, let me see, what was the comment that Martel made? I cannot remember. Oh my gosh. Martel said something and Carlos was asking him about it. And Mel holds up the emoji. And Martel avoids answering Carlos's question by turning his attention to Mel and the clown emoji that she had just held up. You know, he, whatever it is that Mel does, he loves to bring attention to Mel. He still loves Mel. I don't care what anyone says. And I really think if you pay attention to when they went to Vegas, some of the things that he said, he has it in for Mel. So Shantae, you're talking about what I just said that I said I would only say one time. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, and Shantae, you seem like a pretty um, astute woman yourself. Why do you think a man divorces a woman 3 weeks after she gives birth to his child? Um, Whenever Carlos first finds out that LeBaric divorced Destiny 3 weeks after she gave birth to their child, his mouth drops wide open. And he did exactly what we want him to do. He asked the question again. Listen, I am loving Carlos because most people would have really stumbled over that because some hosts they don't like to really bring out the truth. And Carlos doesn't have a problem with that. I wonder who raised Carlos because he is like amazing. His confidence is amazing. Um, Destiny even goes on to make us think that it was the last name issue. I do not believe that because you were going to do your last name hyphen his name. And then he married you anyway with that. Even with that, he married you. But then 3 weeks later, he divorces you. So that's why I said what I said earlier. Marsau tells Destiny that she's got a man thing about her. And of course, Marsau is going to see that because Marsau thinks any woman who is aggressive has a man thing about her. And then Destiny asked him a question. She asked him, well, where's the man who can bring out the woman in me? You are a woman. Why are you looking for a man to bring out the woman in you? Girl, get you some confidence. You beginning to sound like chitlins. Stop it. Okay? And we don't want to see you twerking next season on everybody. We want you to talk about you and Tiffany to talk about her, which I'm about to get to, and we're going to end this, okay? Carlos asked her where does she and LeBeric's relationship stand now, and she says he's her biggest fan, and she says that he comes over to the house. You know, they get in their pajamas, they cook for Law, everything they do is for Law. And she says that she's dating, and Carlos says, "Well, you're sitting right beside Maurice and Kimmy." So, Carlos, you got jokes, right? Destiny, then he asked her if she's open to dating Jalen. And she says she wouldn't do that to Jalen or Kimmy. So we know she's coming back next season because Carlos really likes her on the show. He thinks that she has a lot to offer, and I'm not going to go against that because he is a renowned producer who produces very good shows. Carlos produces, even his history just really shows really good shows. Um, you can keep sending me these web links if you want, and what I'm going to do is block you. Okay, don't send me web links. I just blocked someone for sending me a web link. And it's a foreign web link. No one's going to go there, so don't send them on this channel. If you want people to use your web link, you need to start your own YouTube channel and put it there, but don't bring it over here. Alex says Marcel is a liar because Mel's mom said he was taking this girl's money for Martel. Um, We know Marceau is a lot. You said Marceau. I just caught that. Okay. Okay. Aliak has jokes. Okay. um, so next, guess who comes on the stage next, you guys? Oh my gosh. Oh, I can't take her. But can I tell you something about Tiffany on this show that's really positive? I should wait and let you guys tell me. Who did Tiffany remind you of in this reunion? I'm going to tell you at the end who Tiffany reminded me of. Okay? Because all season long, I thought she was just a very average looking woman, average light skin, average half breed, biracial, whatever. Um, I didn't think she was beautiful though. I didn't. I thought her hair was thin and curly. And but on this episode, she reminded me of someone. And I want to know if you guys looked at her and can tell me who she reminded you of. Now, how is it that Tiffany makes a derogatory comment about another young high schooler, and I'm not going to say his name? This is a young male. It's Maurice's son. But then her and her husband have the audacity to get upset with Maurice and Kimmy. You're the one who made the comment, you dumb clown. Stop it. Let me stop calling people dumb clowns. We learned that Tiffany and Louis are actually fans of the show because Carlos asked them if they watched the show before they joined, and they said yes. So they knew what to expect. Carlos tells her that she has been labeled messy, trifling, and rude. That's MTR, messy, trifling, and rude. Then Martel interjects and says, well, look, if they say that about you, then you're doing a good job. No, that is not true, Martel. That does not mean you're doing a good job. Uh, so Carlos asked her if she, read all the comments, some of the comments, and she said, listen, it wasn't hundreds of comments. It wasn't even thousands. It was hundreds of thousands. And she says she's surprised she didn't jump off a bridge. Not that I want anyone to jump off a bridge, but I do want Tiffany to get help because Tiffany is a liar, a straight up liar all the way around. And we don't like her for her lies. Carlos asked Tisha, so do you feel you are not getting the real Tiffany on the show? And Tisha agrees. She says that they are BSing everyone. And then Marceau says they are BSing the world. Then Tiffany says, "Look, Tisha asked me to spill the dirt, to spill all the tea on me. And in normal life and business, that is not normal conversation." Tiffany, speak to yourself. Go look in the mirror and say those same words to yourself, because you did the same thing to Destiny and you did it to Maurice and Maurice and Kimmy when you brought up Kimmy's stepson at Destiny's birthday party, and you did it to Destiny when you brought up her husband. So in normal life and business, that's not normal conversation. So who are you? I'm telling you guys. Are you serious? Ain't that the pot calling the kettle calling the pot? You're gonna tell Tisha that's not normal conversation? What you've been doing all season is not normal conversation. Do you guys see what I'm saying about Tiffany? She and Martel need to see the same therapist, Dr. Francis. Then Martel, with his cheater and mouth in tow, has to intervene. Kimmy also intervenes, and I like Kimmy. Kimmy does make the most sense most of the time. She says, when you talk about transparency, it's about me and my life and not someone else's. She's pretty much telling Tiffany that she kept saying she was transparent, but she wasn't talking about herself. She was talking about other people. She doesn't want to talk about her mess, because I'm going to give you something on the low. The reason she's not talking about herself is allegedly she and Lewis cheated with each other, and that's why they are not with their spouses, their first spouses. So grab a load of that, if you will. Carlos asked Maurice, when you look at that scene, because they showed some scenes with Tiffany running her mouth, and he asked, when you look at that scene, what was your first reaction to that? And he asked Maurice, and Maurice says, that you're talking about kids. Where do kids come into play here? And then Kimmy says that she was completely caught off guard by the conversation. And she said it's a good thing that she was caught off guard by the conversation, because if she had not, things would have been a bit different. And you guys, Kimmy, I believe Kimmy got them paws, okay? Kimmy don't mind. I don't believe she would, but I think she don't mind. Radiant Sun, you say she reminds you of Giselle from Potomac. Okay, can I tell you guys now who she reminds me of so I don't forget? Halle Berry. When they showed her from her side view on the show on Saturday night, I looked at her and I thought she looks like Halle Berry. She did not. I don't think Giselle, I mean, you guys, please spare me. People keep telling Giselle she's beautiful. I'm sorry, she is not. Giselle is very average looking, light skinned woman with green eyes. Let's just be real clear about that. And we're not here to talk about her, so I'll move on. But listen, no. But Tiffany did look very beautiful on Saturday night, and she looked like Halle Berry. And I loved her dress even because, all season we've been ragging on her fashion. She has not done good with the fashions all season. However, on the reunion, her dress was beautiful until I looked at the spaghetti straps that were holding her shoulders, and they looked so tight that her skin was covering them almost. I don't know. She don't look like Giselle. I was saying Halle Berry, Radiant Sun. She don't look like Giselle to me. I think she looks better than Giselle, quite frankly. I'm sorry. I'm not. When you guys have to understand. Some of us as Black women, we grew up around other beautiful Black women. I grew up around beautiful Black women, you guys. Even in high school, and not really necessarily my high school, but there was another high school called Central who had beautiful Black girls. In Marion, North Carolina, they had beautiful Black women. The mountains of North Carolina have beautiful Black women, you guys. So I grew up around beautiful black women. So when I see a woman like Giselle, I'm like, she could easily have been in my neighborhood and been like not even in the top 10. So that's where I'm coming from with that. Um, so where did I get to? Let me see here. I'm almost done. Because I'm doing the Lewis thing. Okay. Oh, you guys, what did you think about Lewis and Marceau going in? But anyway, Carlos asked Maurice when you look at that scene, and he told him, and then Martel says, "Well, that's how I felt about Miss Wanda talking about my daughter." Well, listen, let's not talk about Wanda. We'll save her for next week. And Kimmy and Maurice both agreed, listen, we didn't agree with Wanda talking about your daughter either. And Kimmy said that she also did not like seeing the grass scene when Lewis was talking about if had he had a shot that he was going to it could have went differently. And Kimmy was like, you know what? That shot wasn't going to do anything. Because the Scots, we can get down too. Okay. Kimmy's like, you mess with a Scot if you want to. Listen, I love Kimmy now, even though I'm sorry, I do think she was a side piece, you guys, allegedly, but I do like her. Um, Lewis really doesn't get the message because it's really all about bringing up someone else's kid. For him to say behind their back that, hey, he didn't like how Maurice approached him. Maurice approached you like a dignified man. That's how he approached you. And you're sitting there talking about, hey, it could have went differently. Differently how? Differently how? Because just because you're a big dude don't mean you all that. And I think them Scott brothers got hands. I think that they are very classy and sophisticated men now, aside from some of their little, negatives that I talk about on here. But other than that, they are sophisticated now. They are men. So they handle things in a man manner. It ain't that they ain't got them hands, honey. So, Lou, please have several. Because I believe Marsau got them hands. And Marsau is one of them men who knows if he gets mad, it's over. So he doesn't get mad. It's kind of like my brother. My brother, oh my God, my brother got them. I've seen my brother's hands, okay? And even after he calms down, you have to calm him down. Okay? And that's what Marceau reminds me of. So, but my brother now, he works in the press. He's not that kind of dude. So, um, he's not that kind of dude. Kimmy says, oh, you guys, Kimmy brings up that she heard that Tiffany got fired from the chamber. So you know me, I had to go on to that website of the chamber in Huntsville because there are some members of the chamber who are paid members and there are other members who are partners, right? They have a lot of business partners and they have a lot of business partners who are volunteers who help them with the work of the chamber. Their goal and purpose is to continue to build up the business community. And I went over, I didn't see Tiffany's picture nowhere. I didn't see her picture nowhere. And she was a paid member. Um, so she shakes her head because Carlos asked her if that's true, and it takes her a while to answer. But you know what? She's a liar, so it's easy for her to lie. She shook her head no. I don't believe her. Um, Kimmy said, we want you to stop acting like you're so transparent when you're really not. And then Marceau gets involved. He says, transparency isn't you ask me a question and I answer it. That's called honesty. When you ask me a question and I answer it, that's just honesty. Transparency is when you are bringing things out about yourself. It's that we can see through you because it's just coming out of you. And Carlos asked Marceau, so when you look at Tiffany and Lewis, do you see a successful marriage? And Marceau says he does not like how opinionated they are about something that they have such little experience in. Marceau got all the shade. I love it. And he tells them that they are not experts and that they are not qualified to give advice to some, because there's someone, they're divorced and they're not, they're not qualified to. No, I'm sorry, I'm getting this confused. He said that they are not qualified, that they are not experts unless they're giving advice to someone who is divorced and not married. So that's where their qualifications lie. He says that he needs them to wait 2 years before they can really give anybody any advice. And Lewis says, well, what is an expertise? What is it? Marceau clarified. He said, you're not experts unless you're giving it to someone who's not married. And then Lewis says, well, this is not my first time around. And Marceau says, yeah, but you've been married 11 months and your previous marriages failed. And Lewis says, well, look, I can give you advice right now that will help you in your relationship right now. Marceau says, getting a divorce does not make you an expert at marriage. It makes you an expert at divorce. I agree with Marceau. Carlos asked Tiffany, how do you feel about what Marceau is saying? Oh my gosh, you guys, I can't take Tiffany, okay? Tiffany says, opinions are like a-holes. Everyone has one. Everybody has one. But then Marceau gets right back in her stuff and he says, well, don't show me your a-hole because I don't want to see it. I'm going to use that. Next time somebody says opinions are like a-holes, everybody has one, I'm going to be like, well, don't show me your a-hole then. Um, and then Tiffany goes on, she says, well, I listen to people's opinions. And Marceau says, well, I don't listen to people's a-holes. You guys, Marceau, I love it. Look, I like Marceau. Marceau is a man, okay? He's a man's man, okay? Um, and Tisha told everybody at the end, put some respect on her marriage because people love to come for her marriage and they've been married the longest. So when you talk about her marriage, she said, put some respect on it. Okay? Put some respect on her marriage. And Tisha, we do respect your marriage. And I really pray that what people are saying about Marceau is not true. I really do pray that. I like you and Marceau together. I like Kimmy and Maurice together. Now that Mel has left Martel, I don't like them together. And I do not want them to get back together. And I know Melody is heartbroken, but Melody, there's so much more out there for you. Do not ever go back to him. Let him have chitlins. Look, it, what they say, as long as you take the membrane out of the chitlins, you can go ahead and put some vinegar and hot sauce on them and eat them. Let him go ahead and do that. Okay? Let him do that. Because Arionne is slow. She's slow. She thinks it's okay for her to do what she's doing. But I digress. You say Kimmy gives me nurturing mother instead of married happy wife. Well, she is a nurturing mother. She has children. You can do both. You can do both. So you guys, thank you so much for getting in the comments and being here and listening to me. It's gone overboard. I didn't mean for it to last this long. I had a lot to get out because, Chitlins came out today over there on her Chitlins Instagram, trying to destroy another marriage, 2 more marriages, along with the one she's already destroyed. So I just had to go in on her earlier. So that's what took a little while. But nonetheless, I just want to say, thank you for showing up. If you haven't hit the like button, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscriber button, and also hit the notification bell. And remember to mind your spirit and mind your ethos. That's your character and who you are. Peace, love, and many blessings.